Salt Typhoon is a referral of a specific name to a entity that is operating out of China that is working on behalf of the Ministry of State Security, or the MSS as they're otherwise known, who have been recognized since 2023 to be launching highly sophisticated, what we call APT, Advanced Persistent Threats, against the United States and other countries' telecommunication systems. And it's against specifically their servers and their routers. The technology that is being utilized and the expertise that is applied to this type of attack, how and what it is doing, what is it achieving, and what could be the potential outcome. So, for example, in a ransomware, ultimately it's going to be about money. But in the particular instances of Salt Typhoon, what we're talking about here is fundamentally counterintelligence. And it's gathering information from messages stealthily to data activity, even down to geolocations that come down to the information that we on a daily basis all transmit from our own cell phones. And the second part of this will be to try and determine who might be the party responsible and who they may be doing it on behalf of if it isn't the origin source. And this has been traced in the cases of Salt Typhoon to a particular company and a particular individual that is known to have links with the intelligence agencies within China. And this individual, much like many other countries, for example, Russia, who will not necessarily originate these attacks out of their own buildings, but through proxies, through entities and companies, which will allow them to present what we would call plausible deniability. But the sophistication of this attack, or these attacks, has been very widespread and primarily government agency driven. So in terms of the targets, there have been some commercial and private entities, but the vast majority have been government entities, and again, going through those ISPs, those internet service providers, to gather all this kind of intelligence. One of the biggest concerns about these attacks is not only have they targeted multiple agencies and government departments, but many of the United States' largest telecoms and ISP providers. And the concern is, what are they looking to achieve other than necessarily eavesdropping on certain communications or gathering user data, whether that be metadata from their text, geolocation information, and in certain instances, potentially recorded audio files. But this could also allow them to create infrastructure halts, or if you like, a blackout of communications in certain areas. And the sophistication of these attacks has allowed them to embed their software through backdoors, through various other exploits into the network. Why this would particularly matter, and why this matters to all of us and not just those government agencies, is access to carrier infrastructure is a strategic prize. It can provide near real-time visibility into communications, historical metadata, location information, and in targeted cases, intercepted content. And that gives a state actor a powerful tool for not only counterintelligence, but political strategic targeting and long-term intelligence collection. But they can also use this information to cause disruption on networks and cause confusion on networks, which as a hostile state actor could be hugely, hugely beneficial to them if used in conjunction with other means and other methods of attack to a particular country. Inevitably, where this has been discovered in various networks, whether that be telecommunications or even corporate ones, is the FBI and the CISA over in America, over here in the UK, the GCHQ entities and intelligence agencies that, again, working behind the scenes to, again, both discover and remove these malicious exploits which are currently being utilized by Chinese intelligence and state intelligence, but also to identify the specific parties that are being used as proxies to deliver these exploits. Now, the hardest part is for many of those companies that are based in China that are doing this on behalf of the MSS, it's virtually impossible to prosecute. However, from a political standpoint, this can be used certainly in leverage on a variety of different levels against China. But China, as we know, is reasonably self-sufficient and is not as reliant necessarily on Western powers in terms of their products and their services, which sadly we are probably more reliant on than they are.